Watch this.
The deadline has officially passed and the field is set. So, who is running for office in this big election year? We've got a breakdown of names, including a surprising last-minute addition. Things are moving fast over at the State House. One controversial bill is now dead, while others are moving through at a fast pace as Idaho lawmakers hope to get done with their business by the end of the month. And here we have Idaho. If the Gem State special song isn't already singing in your head, it will be soon. But just how unique is our song compared to other states? Well, there it is. You can see the video. It's officially on. Governor Brad Little and Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeachin have both filed to run for governor, both Republicans. And we knew it was likely headed this way, but it's not official until it is. And now it is. Thanks for joining us here on the 208. I have a tie on. We'll take care of that in the break. Now, a big question for weeks has been, when is Governor Little going to file to run again? Well, now you have your answer today. But why did he wait till the last day to file? We've seen that question from a lot of you into our text line. So, Governor Little tells us that he's had a lot of work to handle, and he told our photographer this.
I'm pretty busy right now with the legislative session, so we get this done, and we'll make a formal announcement yesterday. But this is one of the things you have to do to comply with the rule of law to get filed on during the filing deadline. And today's the end of the filing deadline, so we got her done. So
there you go. Governor Little and Lieutenant Governor McGeachin officially in the race. And lots of races to look at with the deadline technically behind us. The last update from the Secretary of State's website was 4:56. So we have possibly some names that won't make this list. But let's take a look at the field for some major statewide races for the May primary specifically. And here's the governor's race. Of course, you'll probably recognize a lot of these names. But again, at this hour, we are still waiting technically for maybe another few names to get in. The deadline was right at 5, so if someone's registering right now, may have not made this list. An important note, you won't see this name on the list, but according to the Idaho Secretary of State's website, Dr. Ryan Cole had filed a treasurer appointment report for the governor's office today, which would actually be the first step in filing to run for office. He had till 5 p.m. to file. No word on if he technically did or not. We're not exactly sure, trying to clear that up for you. But as of about 5 o'clock, the names on your screen will be going for the governor's race. Let's take a look at the lieutenant governor's race, and you can see the Republicans, REP there, some names that you probably recognize, as well as some state lawmakers, Priscilla Giddings, Scott Bedke in the race there. Again, the May primary would be Republicans against Republicans, Democrats against Democrats. If there's no one in the race to run against, you have an automatic winner. Let's also take a look at the Secretary of State's race. You can see here, this is Ada County Clerk Phil McGrain. Usually he's receiving the paperwork, but he has now filed paperwork this week to run for Secretary of State. He was in the Secretary's office last night as he was handing off his paperwork. So there you go. Phil McGrain officially in the race. He's not the only notable name, though, in Idaho politics for Secretary of State. This is Representative Dorothy Moon. She has officially filed her paperwork. And another name you may recognize in this race, Senator Mary Souza. So that one is going to be a competitive race for the Republicans. Some other races for you and some names you may recognize. Let's take a look at the field for Idaho Attorney General. You'll probably see some names there you know, like Lawrence Wasden, the current Attorney General, also former Idaho Congressman Raul Labrador in the AG race. Finally, to round up some of the major statewide races for you, this is candidate declarations for the Superintendent of Public Instruction. Of course, at this point, we know that Sherry Ibarra, that she is the incumbent. She is running again. She's not on this list, but these are the people filed to run. Ibarra is running, although she's not pictured on your screen. The major caveat to all of this, again, the deadline was right at 5 o'clock, so it's possible a candidate filed right at the deadline and they're not on our list. But I know that our election team is working on this as we speak. We'll have full details on ktvb.com, and we'll have some updates for you as the names become official. But bottom line here, away we go. And today is also a pretty important deadline for Idaho voters. If you plan to vote for the Republican ticket in the May primary, today is the last day to register with the GOP party. That's because Idaho Republicans have had a closed primary election since 2011. Now, this only applies to voters who have already registered. If you haven't registered at all to vote in Idaho, then you can register now or on May 17th at the polls. If you plan to vote in the Democratic primary, you don't have to do anything yet either. But if you are a registered Democrat and you wanted to switch sides for whatever reason, today was the deadline, and that deadline does apply to you. Now, if you're registered as a Republican on primary election day, you will get a Republican ballot. If not, you can register on election day with the Democratic Party or choose to vote unaffiliated, meaning your ballot will only have options to vote for nonpartisan positions like a district judge. But you will not be able to change your affiliation at the polls unless, again, you have never registered to vote in the state of Idaho. And we'll keep you posted as we get closer. Now, after the primary is over, it won't matter what your affiliation is because everyone gets the same ballot for the November general election, and you can register to vote or change your affiliation right now. You go to voteidaho.gov. Good website for you. Well, early this morning, the legislature's Budget Setting Committee unanimously approved Lieutenant Governor Janice McGeachin's budget for the next fiscal year. JFAC has approved just over $202,000 for her office, and that includes increases for employee compensation, inflation, and other costs. But missing from that request, $29,000 that the lieutenant governor had previously included to help pay for a private attorney that she hired in a public records dispute. Now, that money was already paid out of this year's budget. It's not off the table, though. The committee could, in theory, bring it up at a separate hearing before the end of the session. I'll keep you posted there. So yesterday, we told you about House Bill 741, and that's the one that a lot of you texted us about. It's the one that would remove Idaho's property taxes, but to supplement that, it would basically increase the state sales tax by nearly 2%. Well, if you like the idea, here's some news for you. The Senate Majority Caucus says the bill is dead, at least for this year. In a statement, they say that there are several moving parts to the bill that require attention, something that they do not have time to give until the end of the session. They have a lot going on, and they're trying to get their work done. But again, the bill is dead for the year. Representative Moyle tells me there's a good chance we see it early next year. Over in the Senate Judiciary and Rules Committee this week, yesterday afternoon, Senator Chuck Winder what's the Coronavirus Pause Act. This is a piece of legislation that would ban employers and businesses from requiring COVID vaccines for 1 year, with very few exceptions.
We're just trying to keep from having discrimination against people. We also believe that it's really no one else's business, whether you're vaccinated or you're not.
I think we all respect private business, but recognize that this is a situation that does help protect individuals from being forced to receive something within their body, and that's important.
But when it comes to people discriminating against somebody, we have resisted telling employers that they can't fire somebody for their sexual orientation, yet we're willing to do it here, and that just feels really awful.
The committee also heard from a few businesses as well, including Micron and Ball Ventures, who said that they were concerned with the potential long-term impacts of the bill, adding that the legislature shouldn't be expanding on business regulations. Idaho is considered the least regulated state in the nation. There are exemptions for those working for the federal government, as well as those working for healthcare entities that receive Medicare or Medicaid. It also would not apply to employees that are required to travel out of state where vaccines are required. As of today, about 926,000 Idahoans are considered fully vaccinated. There are criminal penalties in the bill, including facing misdemeanor charges and a $1,000 fine. It does have an emergency clause, so should it be signed into law, it would go into effect immediately. The legislation did pass along party lines and now heads to the full Senate.
I'm asking for a unanimous vote here to sink this thing. Let's torpedo it.
Geez, that's pretty uncommon to see. A lawmaker asking his colleagues to vote against his bill. Well, actually, it's pretty common. But Senator Doug Ricks of Rexburg asked his fellow senators yesterday to vote against his bill. Senate Bill 1357 would have changed the way that voter ballot initiatives were numbered.
This is not an earth-shaking type of a bill, and some might wonder whether it's really necessary. You know, it's not necessarily a bad bill. But it may not be a good bill either. I don't know. You know, when I came here, one of the things I thought is that, you know, maybe it'd be a good thing if we don't pass some bills from time to time. And I've kind of decided with this bill here, is it really necessary? And I've decided no, it probably is not. I'm not sure that changing this is really going to fix or make things any better. And you know the adage, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So senators, I'm asking for your unanimous vote to vote nay on this.
It's about as transparent as it gets there on the Senate floor. 2 senators did vote in favor of the bill despite the plea, but it did fail in the end, 2-33 vote. And over in the House of Representatives this morning, the floor suspended the rules in her debate over House Bill 762. It would exempt natural hair braiding from Idaho's cosmetology licensing requirements. Basically, it cleans up some language in Idaho law after the Board of Cosmetology was served a federal lawsuit on the issue. Right now, in order to braid hair professionally in Idaho, you must have a cosmetology license, which can take up to 16 hours of schooling. Now, this bill gets rid of that requirement. It passed the Idaho House unanimously and now heads to the Senate. But we got a question from Ron in Boise on this topic, saying, quote, will the 208 look into Representative Scott's comment comparing black hair care to prison skills? And that comment actually happened in committee yesterday, and we were just going to leave this here with a no words necessary.
In our Judiciary and Rules Committee, we have been looking for ways that prisoners, when they get released, can have skills. This is something they can learn in prison and actually come out and be able to do for finances. And I think it's just great that you brought this.
Idaho state bird, the mountain bluebird. Our state flower, the syringa. And our state song, well, it made its debut on this day in 1931. Of course, it's a happy Friday, friends. Before we all head out to enjoy the weekend, why don't you go grab your cellular phone and send us a nice text message. Here's our number, 208-321-5614. Comments, questions, jokes, complaints, pictures, recipes, haikus, you name it, we'll take it, especially on a Friday. Just be sure to include your name and hashtag the 208 because we may share your text on screen at the end of the show, so stay tuned. You've likely heard the long-standing argument that Boise State University borrowed its fight song from the University of Idaho. Not the lyrics, but the melody, and it's very similar in more than one spot. For example, there's that flourish in the beginning and then again the shouting part towards the end, so I mean you could judge for yourself. Here's the Vandal fight song for all you Vandals out there. All right, so that was composed in 1930. 10 years later, Boise State, then Boise Junior College, they crafted their own fight song. And in 1990, they added this vaguely familiar refrain. Listen closely. It's a good song, right? Well, Subtle enough not to step on any copyright laws, apparently, but the University of Idaho once faced its own allegations of anthem appropriation. Have you heard of this? It brings us to why we're talking about all the music today. On this day, 91 years ago, the 21st session of the Idaho legislature designated "Here We Have Idaho" as the official state song. Here's Brian Holmes.
Way out in the land of the setting sun,
where the massive Rockies stand, there's Wyoming young and strong.
Hail to the land of heroes, my Oregon.
There's a symphony of state songs out there
M-O-N-T-A-N
that have never exactly been
Montana, I love you.
chart-topping tunes. I love you. A tour around the West can tell you that. Oh, sure, they're all the greatest.
You're easily the best.
And all claim no better corner of the country to call home.
home means Nevada, home means the hills.
Some states even have more than one song, and a few have caused canticle controversies, like this racist line from Oregon. A reference to when the Beaver State outlawed black people. Speaking of outside the law,
The majestic forest where nature abounds.
well,
We love every nook and river.
here we have Idaho,
And here we have Idaho.
a state song with a plagiarized past. The story goes, in 1917, the University of Idaho held a campus song contest. So student McKinley Helm wrote some words, and another student, Alice Bessie, put them to a tune that was popular at the time. They called it Our Idaho, and it won. The song was so well received, it was regularly played at university events and eventually became the school alma mater. Problem was, it wasn't really original. You see, in 1915, 2 years earlier, Sally Hume Douglas wrote a Hawaiian love song called Garden of Paradise. And that was the one apparently bootlegged by Bessie. So in 1930, the U of I, under the threat of a lawsuit, reluctantly bought the rights. And a year later, on March 11th, 1931, the legislature made Here We Have Idaho the state song. Sure, it may have started as an innocent infringement on copyrights,
Singing of you.
but Idahoans,
Singing of Idaho.
in cars, in concerts,
Winning her way to fame.
with comedy, and with COVID, have made it their own
Singing of Idaho.
since.
Singing of Idaho.
Just like fight songs, some state songs have changed over the years. We mentioned Oregon's racist tone, the line, "Land of empire builders conquered and held by free men, fairest and the best," which was alluding to Oregon's one-time exclusionary laws, was only changed just last year. Now, Idaho's state song, when it was still U of I's alma mater, the second line was written as "Scourge on her way to fame." Since 1931, it has been winning her way to fame. I guess winning is better than whipping, they say.
And now we have more Idaho, and we'll talk about the weather. Two things to basically keep in mind. Tomorrow's a pretty nice day. The only thing is I'm hedging a little because of the breezy conditions in the afternoon, but we can handle that, right? I hope. Then the second thing is a storm on Tuesday that could bring 6 to 10 inches of snow. How we need that. We need more of those, okay, as we head toward the summer months through the springtime. Here's Skycam 7 as you look outside, and there's the sunshine as you notice there. Look at Bend, Oregon, 66 degrees. That warmer air, yes, it's contagious, and it's going to be heading our way. Now, we had 53 for the high so far today, and here's a look at tomorrow. Anywhere from about a 59 to maybe as much as a 63, depending on some spots tomorrow with the sunshine. But keep in mind, winds in the afternoon, I know, they pick up about 20 miles an hour. This may not be too bad, but then they get into this category about 24, 25 miles an hour, about 5 to 6 o'clock. I think that's when it's going to be the breeziest, okay? So when we talk about this storm system coming in, we've got sunshine here, and it stays through tomorrow, but the clouds will increase in the afternoon, and that's what will pick up the winds. In the meantime, we're picking up some of this warmer air that's coming in from the west from a zonal flow. This storm system will break up into Sunday, and then we have a larger one coming down into this area. That will push through for Tuesday. That's the big one I'm talking about. So let's talk about the weekend as well. As you look at the temperature tomorrow, 60 degrees for the high. As you look at Sunday, it's 51. Temperature comes down because we have a chance of some rain showers that could begin as early as 11 to midnight Saturday night. Just some scattered showers during the day, not a big storm. This is a bigger one. It's rain here in the valley, but it's because our temperatures have come up. And as you see, we have temperatures in the 50s, and this is large enough to provide a light rain shower on Wednesday morning. After that, we dry up, and look at this. Another Friday, the following weekend, another day. So you may get another chance at this, of more sunshine coming into the following week. Back with more news in just a moment.
A lot of comments coming in, so let's just get right to them here. Lori says, I actually won our 5th grade talent festival some 50 years ago singing the Idaho state song as a duet with my friend. An all-time classic, I would say. Jim says we need to get Snoop Dogg or somebody cool to rewrite that state song. And I would agree, Jim. If we get Snoop on board, I would be very interested. Boise State stole the UI fight song just like Boise stole the Capitol from Lewiston. #frauds. This person says, why is I wearing a tie? I took it off. It's 2:08 time. You know the rules here. This person says, watch it, Joe. There are thousands of us Vandals out here. Hey, no hate on the Vandals. Me and Joe Vandal were name buddies. We go way back, so no hate there. This person says, still got the tie on, James. #the 208. Yep, tie's still here. I'll put it back on for the 6 o'clock news if you were wondering. And then, we got a real cute puppy here. This one says, my dog pondering life beyond the fence and why Paris is wearing a tie. I don't know what to tell you, folks. You know, sometimes on the 208, I forget to take the tie off, but that's the way it goes. Anyways, if you're a fan of dogs, we've got some great action for you to send you into the weekend. I want to introduce all of you to our new friend, Winnie.